Welcome back to Box Size View. Jake Paul's original opponent Mike Tyson has pulled out of the fight due to health reasons and has been rescheduled to a later date this year. A fight that I honestly feel shouldn't be happening as Mike Tyson is 58 years old. But I guess that's subject for a whole nother video. So now July 20th we have Jake Paul versus the King of Violence Mike Perry in the Cruiserweight division. So let's go ahead and get into this preview as well as prediction. Starting off with Mike Perry, if you don't know, began his career in the UFC. Going 14-8, he had some big fights. He won some, he lost some, but was really known for his entertaining style as well as willingness to throw caution to the wind. He was never really the best wrestler or jiu-jitsu guy, but he was always willing to bang. So when he made his transition over to the BKFC, the Bare Knuckle Association, he really found a home for himself. His toughness as well as heavy hands got him some solid wins over some combat legends, beating the likes of Michael Venom Page, former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold, knocking out some of his front teeth in the second round, and Luke Rockhold ultimately throwing in the towel. A quick stoppage in the first against the Pitbull Thiago Alves. Another former UFC champion Eddie Alvarez. A back and forth barn burner where Alvarez ended up retiring in the corner in the second round. Even though Mike Perry may not be the most technically sound, his toughness as well as grit has been able to get him to 6-0 in the bare knuckle boxing, but it hasn't been without flaws. He's shown in the past to not have the best defense, really being hit like a punching bag at times and not making necessary adjustments to evade punches. As well as this being only his second boxing match, with his first being him losing by knockout back in 2015. So I definitely feel it'll be interesting how his skill set translates in this fight. But now onto the other side of things, we have the problem child, Jake Paul, quote unquote the YouTuber slash Disney child turned boxer. Came into boxing with no amateur background and has really built his career up off of guys who are past their prime or have never really boxed professionally before. He's knocked out the former NBA player Nate Robinson with probably his best punch, which is the overhand right. Former UFC fighter Ben Askren saw the same fate with that overhand right as well. The former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley would see that same right hand in the rematch, ending up landing face first in the canvas. But once again, this was a Tyron Woodley way past his prime and on a 5-fight losing streak. He would go on to beat a 47-year-old combat legend Anderson Silva, a fight that really came down to the last round, and Jake was able to get that knockdown, which kind of sealed it for him. But in his 7th professional bout, he finally fought an actual boxer, Tommy Fury, the brother of former WBC champion Tyson Fury. We were able to see some of his struggles against someone with a decent jab and that can actually box, ultimately losing by decision. After that loss, he went back to fighting retired fighters and boxers that haven't fought in years, beating up on the Stockton badass Nate Diaz, as well as 2 other lesser known boxers. So now after breaking down both fighters, I'm going to give my own opinion on how the fight may go, as well as my prediction. I honestly feel this fight could really only go 2 ways. It's either Mike Perry's relentless style and pressure will be too much for Jake Paul and maybe get a late stoppage, or Jake Paul will knock out Mike Perry in devastating fashion because that overhand right does have some power on him. And like I said previously, Mike Perry's defense is really just his toughness. His high guard is really loose, and he's been hit plenty of times. But for my final prediction, I gotta go with Mike Perry. His relentless pressure as well as volume, I think, will be too much for Jake Paul. But I honestly could be dead ass wrong, and Jake Paul can knock him the f out. But you guys go ahead and let me know down in the comments who you guys got winning this one. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.